If you're not new here, you might know that I have never been that much of a big fantasy reader until recently. And my goal is to read some of the biggest, most popular fantasy series out there. And today we are starting with one of the most popular ones that took 2023 by storm. I am going to be reading the entire Once Upon a Broken Heart series back to back. After seeing it on so many people's favourite books of 2023 lists, their favourite fantasies of all time, I knew I had to read it and I had to do it back to back, and here is what I thought. I've now started Once Upon a Broken Heart and I am currently on page 109, and guys, I'm already loving it. I do want to say that in this vlog I'm also going to do it spoiler free. I will no doubt put spoilers, but whenever I want to talk about spoilers I will put it on the screen so you can skip if you haven't read the books yet or you don't really want to know. The majority of the video is going to be spoiler free. I will let you know when I do spoilers. I really did go into this not really having any expectations other than knowing that so many people absolutely adore it. It is so many people's favourite fantasy series of all time, and I'm already getting that vibe. Very much Howl's Moving Castle meets Alice in Wonderland meets Cinderella, the fairy tale vibe. All I did know was that it had that fairy tale vibe and everyone just spoke about Eva and Jax. That is all I knew going into this. The tension between those two and the way that their like sort of friendship, not even friendship, their relationship has kind of started out and to where it is already 26% of the way through. I'm absolutely eating it up. I feel like I'm gonna fall in love with them as individuals but also as hopefully a couple. I mean, I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'm assuming it's going to go that way. This has also been so fast paced so far. Like I said, I read 109 pages all of last night. I easily could have sat and binge read the entire book if I really wanted to. Also, the way that Jax calls her little fox. To be honest, to begin with, he started calling her pet and I was like, I hope this is not going to be a recurring theme because that kind of gives me a little bit of ick. But little fox I can handle. That's quite cute. I'm now going to go to a cafe and read some more of this. I'm so excited to see where it goes. So I'm now 206 pages into Once Upon a Broken Heart, and guys, I'm loving this. The way that I've had to wait to read some more of this until I've updated you, it's been hell. I do feel like had I not filmed my sort of reading experience for this entire series, I probably would have binge read this in an entire day. It is so fast paced. Just want to know what is going on. I also found a Spotify playlist for this entire series. It's called Reading Once Upon a Broken Heart Trilogy. It is this one with this cover. Oh my god, it is so good. Listening to this whilst reading this, I'm gonna cry at some point, I know it. But one thing about this, I am not picturing Jax with blue hair. Sorry, he's a brunette in my brain. What do you mean he's got blue hair? And what do you mean that Ava has pink hair? Like, in my head, that's not how I picture them, so I'm kind of just ignoring that. Maybe I'll feel different once I finish this and I have a look at all of the fan art. Though saying that, I definitely need to be careful because I don't want to get spoilers. If I get spoilers for this series when I'm in the middle of reading it for you guys, I literally will be so annoyed. But as I said, I'm now 206 pages into this, so I feel like I now have a pretty good grasp as to what the story is about. So if you don't know what this book is about, because honestly, I had seen so many people talking about this, but all I had ever heard was like, oh my god, Ava and Jax are so cute. I love Ava and Jax, but in terms of plot, I had no idea. I honestly could not tell you what it was about. We are basically following Eva from the get-go. Her kind of like the love of her life is marrying her stepsister, obviously distraught. So she's like in this church and she's like praying to the gods and to the fates, and she's just praying and begging for this to change and for like her to just be with him again. And that is where the book starts. I love that it starts there because we already feel like we're in the middle of something and we have to like kind of uncover everything that is going on. Basically then she prays to the fates and Jax turns up and he gives her like this sort of ultimatum of like 3 kisses. Jax is a fate and he's very handsome. He's quite known for being really handsome but also quite dangerous, that like if you kiss him you'll die, if you fall in love with him you'll die. But he basically gives Evangeline, like she's begging for her life for something to change and for like the wedding to be stopped, and he's like, okay, if you'll do anything, follow me. And that she does. And that is where he gives her the 3 kisses like marked on her wrist, and she doesn't really know who she has to kiss, why she has to kiss them, but it's obvious that like there is a bigger plan going on and like Jax has this plan. And honestly I think that's all you kind of really need to know, because then you're trying to figure out what the plan is, like what is going on, and then there's a lot of like folklore opened up and a lot of history that we are uncovering. The tension between Eva and Jax already is like through the roof. There was this one scene where she had to like kiss somebody and it got a little bit too
a little bit too heated for his liking, so he kind of like says, Eva, you're coming with me. Why do I keep doing this? Is that like a Jax effect? But that's what he's doing to Eva, basically. I'm so excited for their relationship to develop, but equally I'm loving this whole like tension-filled element right now. Going into some more specifics as to what is going on at the minute, I will put a timestamp on the screen. If you don't want to know, feel free to skip. The scene that has just happened, and this is why it has been so hard to not just sit and binge read the entire book in one sitting. We just had Eva's second kiss. Basically kissed Apollo's mum, like the queen, who is notoriously known for being a bitch, and she is a bitch to Eva and to Jax. And then once Eva kind of kisses her on the cheek, she's very much obedient to her, and Jax is like, can I see, I don't know if it was like the crypts or the tombs or something, the vaults, not the crypts. I'm thinking Game of Thrones. Jax wants to see the vaults, and this is like the first time we're seeing a little bit of a peek into what his bigger plan might be. So obviously Eva goes with him, and as she's walking around these vaults, like the vaults are talking to her basically to get into the vaults, and these archers, which also I love when like you put 2 and 2 together as to what a cover is about. But to get into this arch, you need to be, I think, like Valor blood is what they called it, or you need to have the blood of Valor, or like whatever. As they were walking through the arch, the walls are talking to Eva, being like, you could have opened me, you could have opened this. Is she Valor? I don't even know what Valor means, and I'm literally sitting here like, fuck, Eva is Valor. I'm so intrigued, and I just want to know what Jax's plan is, and what, like, why Eva? Like, why does she have to be the one? I know obviously that she begged for help and she begged for him and just for the wedding to start, but why did Jax have to come? I feel like there is something there. I feel like there is some like already relation between them two, or like maybe he knew her from before, as in Jax knew Eva before. Honestly, if I finish the book by the time that I talk to you next, I'm so sorry. I'm adoring this so much. I can 100% see why so many people adore this, and so many people have this as like their favorite fantasy series of all time. The writing is absolutely astonishing. I'm loving the fairy tale atmosphere so much. The vibes are just like immaculate. I just kind of want to escape into this world, so I'm kind of happy that I'm reading all of these back to back, but honestly I am obsessed. Dare I say this is going to become one of my favorite fantasy series of all time. Okay, so I've only read about 20 more pages, but Eva has just been told basically what like the Valors are. I'm so intrigued. I love the fact that there are so many different theories that the people in this town have, and like they don't even know what is true, because then for us, like, we're just left guessing. And I'm literally sat here and I'm like, fuck, I don't know which one it is, and I feel like Jax does. I need to keep on reading, but I will genuinely sit here and binge read the entire thing. And I didn't even tell you guys, I am actually currently buddy reading this with one of my best friends, so I also want to make sure that I'm not reading ahead of her, so that we can read it together tonight, and hopefully, if we're feeling crazy, finish it. But oh my god, what is fact, what is fiction? I'm loving this. Guys, I've been reading this book non-stop, and so much has happened since I've last updated you. I'm now on page 340. I really don't have that much left. I'm kind of hoping that I get to finish it tonight. I am going to go straight into spoiler territory, so skip to this timestamp on the screen if you don't want to know. But holy fuck, Apollo died? I was literally sat, you would have seen, I was sat on my lunch break at work in the cafe, and I was just reading the book. Apollo died. Tried to turn Jax into a vampire. Gagged. Also, the fact that there were even vampires in this to begin with, I had no idea about that. My jaw's on the floor. After that, we found out that Eva got poisoned to the point that like she would cry herself to death. And the way that when she got poisoned, the only way for it to kind of wear off is to get physical contact. So obviously, who was there giving her the physical contact? Obviously fucking Jax. I am absolutely obsessed with them. I'm honestly terrified. Now as we are going on, we have also found out that story has it. I can't remember if we mentioned it before. I know that it was mentioned in the book previously slightly, but I don't know if I mentioned it in the vlog. Obviously Jax's kiss, or story has it anyway, that Jax's kiss is immune to one girl. It better be Ava. I also keep saying Ava. Have I been saying Ava this entire time instead of Eva? I'm praying that the one girl who's immune to his kiss is Evangeline, because I'm so obsessed with them. The tension between them, everything. Like, I'm floored. I also dogged one page, and I can't even remember why, but I knew that I wanted to tell you guys about it. Oh yeah, when Jax got bitten, he had like the vampire venom in him, and it was making him kind of like crazy and just kind of lustful. In it, Ava was trying to stay away from him. If he bit Eva, he then would have turned into a vampire, and he cannot stand the vampires. He hates them. He doesn't want to become one. And in it, because he was so lustful, he kept saying to her, "Do you want to kiss me, little fox? You don't sound too sure of that. You might not like me, but I bet you'd like if I kissed you."
Please. Oh my god, yeah. And we also found out that Eva's stepsister basically had this like forbidden magical book, and she is the one that put the curse on Luke to fall in love with her, and that is why apparently obviously him and Eva didn't end up getting married. So it is all the stepsister's fault. So now she's like, oh my god, did my stepsister also poison me? Jax and Lala is also a vampire who is kind of like Jax's friend, kind of like acquaintance. They don't think it is, but obviously Eva's like, fuck, my stepsister has poisoned me, she tried to kill me, like she put a curse on Luke. So we're very much exploring that right now, trying to find out who poisoned Eva, and I guess Jax is also just still trying to complete his plan, whatever that means. Going back to some non-spoiler thoughts, I am just loving this so much. I count every time I have said that, because I feel like this could become a new all-time favorite series for me. Right now my rating, I would say, is currently sitting on like a 4.5. I think it very much depends on the end as to whether I'll rate this 5 stars. I'm loving the progress and the pacing of this book. I love how fairy tale and whimsical it is, whilst also being so unique, adding so many different elements of fantasy that you wouldn't necessarily see in like a traditional fairy tale story. This book, like, there is so much going on, and I'm loving it so much because it's equally not, like, it's quite slow, but so much is happening, and it just makes you fully feel so immersed and so obsessed with the character. Like I said, I'm gonna try and finish this today. I think I probably have just over 100 pages left, so definitely doable, and I will update you guys when I do. I feel like this vlog is going to be so long because I'm just going to ramble on so much about each of these books, but I'm obsessed with this.
Where is he actually? Yeah. Every time I think I'm really quick, you're like, just let him. I'm freaking out. Oh, yeah, don't go. Yeah, it's fictional. She does not exist. Wait, no, he's in the head. It's like a Find My Friend, but in your head. It is! I've got literally 10 pages left. Literally the same thing. What do you mean? Of course he wasn't going to be good.
But we knew that. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't expecting to find out what his plan was in the first book.
No.
So I'm not mad.
It's bugging me a little bit.
It's bugging me because we knew.
Yeah.
Like, we've spoken about this.
Yeah,
we established this already.
Multiple times.
Well, look at us now. Thanks, Jax, for nothing.
Literally, this whole book.
This book could air.
in the best and most respectful way. A whole lot of nothing. You know how they say that men are all words, no action? This book,
probably one of my favourite fantasy books I've ever read right now, but I haven't read that many. And I would like to hope that there's a kiss between them in the second book.
and that she's not gonna die. What the fuck? Oh. Did we pick the exact same thing?
The way we thought that at the exact same time. Right, guys. No, but it's either her kiss is gonna cure him, or they're not gonna kiss at all in the whole 3 books.
I'm suing.
No, but come on, in the most respectful way, if they don't kiss in the whole 3 books.
What's the point?
I'm never reading a book again. But also, why blonde? Why not brunette?
Oh, I did not see that coming. Me neither. I need him.
Biblically.
I need him in a way that is concerning to feminism. Wait. We're so sad right now.
No. Guys, I finished Once Upon a Broken Heart, and oh my fucking god, this book series is about to become one of my favourite book series of all time. Absolutely obsessed with this book. I cannot believe, honestly, had I not been reading it for this video, I absolutely would have binge read it in one day, and I'm kind of happy that I didn't, because although I am filming this video and I'm very aware that my entire like reading of this entire series is gonna go by really quick, I am literally reading them back to back, which does make me a little sad because I know that I'm gonna want to stay in this world once this series is finished, and I know I can read Caraval. Maybe I'll do this video for that also. I am just loving it so much that I am absolutely flying through it. So I did finish Once Upon a Broken Heart, and oh my god, the ending. I'm absolutely obsessed with all of the characters, the tension between Eva and Jax, the way that their like relationship and just their dynamic is completely changing all the time, and like things are brewing. I'm just when I tell you I was giggling and kicking my feet reading this, I am absolutely obsessed. 100% understand the hype. I think this book is such a slow burn. Like, a lot happens, don't get me wrong, like there is constantly things happening, everything is starting to unravel, but equally it feels so slow without being too much and without being too slow. I don't even know if that makes sense, but there is so much that happens in this book, but equally you sit with it and you simmer with it for so long, and I loved it. When it comes to the rating, should I tell you guys my rating after each book, or should I wait until the end? Okay, yeah, I will save my individual ratings until the end of the video, where I'll give them all to you then, so then I can like simmer and sit with them for a little bit longer. But when finishing this, I started this right away. I did also start this one with my best friend Mayla. We did kind of decide to just buddy read the entire series, and I feel like that's going to be a joy. I feel like we're going to need each other for emotional support, because oh my god, this book, I shit you not, we read 217 pages in one sitting. You probably would have seen the clip already of us reading it and like our reactions, giggling, kicking our feet, screaming, crying, throwing up. So much has happened in this book already, and dare I say, I'm getting 5-star feels. Obviously we read 217 pages in one sitting. I absolutely could have flew through this and read this one also in an entire day. Stephanie Garber's writing is so good and so atmospheric, but equally so fast paced and so easy to fly through, all while still being a little bit slow, so you're fully like immersing yourself into the world. Now that I am on the second book, I'm very aware of how much I can say and should say, because obviously if you were watching this vlog and you haven't read this series yet, I don't want to say anything about the second or the third book that will spoil your experience if you want to watch the vlog and you haven't read any, or you've just read the first. There will probably be more spoiler filled elements now that I have finished the first book and I'm on to the next couple ones, but this book is so good, guys. Like, I knew that this was the one in the series that I don't know if most people loved. I guess maybe Once Upon a Broken Heart, but I knew it was the one that at the end, like, I remember when people were waiting for the third book and the anticipation, so I can only imagine at the end of this, it's either one gonna break my heart or it's gonna end on a cliffhanger. And I don't know which one I would prefer, but it's so good. We had a ball scene, like a party scene, and we have also had do you want me to kill them for you? Please! Going into spoilers for this one because I literally can't hold back anymore and I just need to tell you guys. Where I'm currently at, I think we just finished reading the engagement party for Lala and her fiance, who is part of that house that's really bad. I can't remember what the house is called, but if you've read it you'll know. And we've just finished that engagement party where there was a lot of jealousy because girls were coming over to Jax. He was recognising some girls. He also took one of the girls like out back to kind of kiss her and to feed on her, and then Evangeline walks in and like he's like, what, are you jealous, little fox? I love them so much. In the story now, Eva and Jax are currently teaming up to look for all of these stones. We have like mirth, truth, I can't remember, youth is one of them. And I know for the truth one, that's gonna absolutely gag me. I know for a fact, or I'm hoping that is how they kind of unveil their feelings towards each other, like, because they can't help it. I love a confession scene. But yeah, the reason right now that we think they are looking for the stones is because somebody has like cursed Apollo with the archer and the fox curse. So basically now Apollo is the archer and Evangeline is his fox, and he is hunting her and he's not going to rest until he kills her. They're looking for the stones hoping that it will break the curse, but I don't know why I feel like Jax wants the stones for something else. And I think Evangeline also knows that. Oh yeah, and when it came to the stones, loads of people, when finding out that they were kind of looking for them, were saying like, you don't want to bring these stones together. The last time that happened, there was like a big, like, one of the great houses got destroyed. And then like a couple of scenes after, Jax was introducing himself to a couple of the people at this engagement party, and they were like, oh, what house are you from? Jax was like, oh, I'm from a house like that existed long ago, like everyone is dead. what, the house that got destroyed by the stones. That is what I'm assuming. I don't know what that is going to lead to. Yeah, I'm just absolutely loving it. That engagement party scene, everything about it like left me giggling and kicking my feet. I am adoring Eva and Jack so much, the tension between them, and just the way that when they walked into the party, people were taking the piss out of Evangeline, and he was like, do you want me to cut out their tongues for you? Okay. I'm getting 5-star feelings. I'm so excited to read some more of this. Now that I have updated you, we're probably gonna binge read a bunch more tonight, and I will probably film it because there is something happening in every single chapter of this book, and then I will come back and update you guys some more. But oh my god, this book may be becoming a favorite all the time. Part 3.
I'm deluded like that, but that's my take on it. What, no one better fucking die is all I fucking say. What, was it Stephanie? Oh,
We're on the last chapter.
I'm not gonna say it, but I'm just about to for the content.
We're on chapter 46. We don't know whether it's the last chapter or not.
I don't like it, I'm so uptight.
Me too.
Stephanie? What is this? I'll write this. Please, no.
I know. We're looking at TikToks.
As you do when you finish a book.
What the fuck is that? I'm pointing out what you just said. Let me even zoom it for you because I'm on this nice.
Yeah.
He's crying fucking blood, isn't he? What if it's his heart bleeding out from his eyes or something like that?
You didn't say that the first time.
I said, you just didn't hear it, you're too preoccupied. Oh my god. Whoever made this photo is sick.
Whoever wrote this book is sick.
Let's pop you there whilst we go through some more TikToks then.
Every story has infinite endings, so like in one universe, Donatello would be his true love.
Not the MCU multiverse of madness, please. Is she going to become a vampire then? Or no, she's dead.
She's not. She's alive. She just doesn't remember now.
She didn't become a vampire, they killed her. And then he stopped time and went back because he didn't want her to die. And they were like, oh, it's better for her to die than to have her live like this.
Yeah, so because he stopped time, she's just who she was before.
No. Please!
We saw something for A Curse for True Love.
Okay, I'll say it because it doesn't focus.
I absolutely hate the cheating trope.
I mean, same.
Big no.
And then it says A Curse for True Love.
I'm scared. Because you're telling me she's gonna fall in love with Apollo because it's the first person she sees when she wakes up, and then little Jackie Jacks.
Jackie Jacks. Yes, little Jackie Jacks.
It's gonna be like, fuck off, that's my girl. Oh,
that's so hot. Yeah, but I honestly don't.
There has to be some history and there's some remaining attraction between them or something.
Well, 100%.
She just hasn't seen him again.
I'm hoping when people say that he's not really in it that much, maybe it's because
he wasn't really in the first book, to be fair.
No, but that's what I mean. Maybe the beginning is going to be her in love with Apollo, and then he's going to come at some point. But I don't want to read that for 200 pages.
Luke was painful enough.
Period.
Is it going to be like in Vampire? I swear, Stephanie. I know you like Vampire Diaries. I know you've watched it multiple times. Because you know in season 5 or 6, asked Alaric to compare her to get him.
Yes.
And then so she has this boyfriend and no one even fucking remembers.
Yeah.
And then he's coming in and she's like, I have a boyfriend, stop. And he's just like, we're soulmates. We're soulmates. So is it going to be like that? Stephanie, I feel like I've understood her as a person after reading this book.
I feel like she's in the room with us.
I haven't actually updated you on my thoughts on my own since finishing The Ballad of Never After. You would have seen my reaction finishing this with Mayla, and we had a little bit of a discussion after finishing it. I'm loving so much filming our reactions. I know sometimes they are a little bit spoilery, so I'm really sorry if you are watching this and you haven't read the books and you are having to skip quite a bit. My apologies, but I am absolutely loving filming our reactions and then having our little discussions after, and just buddy reading it with her has been such an incredible experience. You probably would have seen we were reading and we were like, oh my god, it's the last chapter. Stephanie Garber is a genius. If you've read this book, the whole like last 50 pages, my jaw was on the fucking floor. How she did that in general, but in terms of just making us think that that was it and then like not really expecting what was going to happen next. The ending of this book, I did cry slightly. There were a couple of tears in my eyes and I rated it 5 stars. Dare I say this is my favourite fantasy book of all time. Absolutely obsessed with this series. I kind of knew I was going to be going into this. I knew I wanted to film my entire reaction to the series. Obviously we're on to the second book, still got one more book to go, and I knew I wanted to film my reaction to the series. I knew it was so beloved. I knew that it was one of those book talk books, one of the popular books that like everybody was obsessed with. Like I haven't heard any one bad thing about these books, and going into that having such high expectations, some part of me, I'm not gonna lie, was kind of expecting to be a little bit let down just because my expectations were through the roof. A lot of the times with books that are this hyped online and on book talk, I 9 times out of 10 don't always enjoy them, so I wasn't really expecting that with this, but like I was wary. But no, this series, or the first 2 books at least, I am currently reading the 3rd book, we'll get onto that in a second. This series is exactly what everyone says, 100% deserves all of the hype, if not even more hype than it already has, and I'm just absolutely head over heels for it. I was saying to Mela the other day actually that I feel like I've been in such a big fantasy mood this year. I've read a ton of fantasy this year, literally in like 2 months, more so than I ever have really before, and it is all I kind of want to read right now, and I've never really had this experience. Obviously I've read so many fantasies previous to all of this and like have loved them, but it's never been a genre that I genuinely read like back to back, and I've been doing that a lot this month, especially obviously with this series, and this is like the first fantasy series I've ever read where I've really felt like, fuck, I really understand why so many people love fantasy books and love fantasy series and they have such fond like attachments to certain series. I understand it now because I feel like that with this, and this is the first series that I've ever felt like this for, like in terms of fantasy, other than like the Hunger Games when I was younger. This is the first fantasy series I've ever felt this way for, and I'm literally in love with it, like so obsessed. I could talk about it forever. Off the back of that, I'm so happy that I did actually decide to go ahead with this video and document my entire experience reading it, because I feel like I'm definitely gonna want to watch it back and even editing it. I started editing this video yesterday and I don't know how long the actual video is going to be. I'm very wary that I don't want it to be too long. As of yesterday, I had 5 hours raw footage, and like just sitting through that, watching mine and Mela's reactions has been such a joy. Like I was sitting there cry laughing. I'm so happy. I'm so happy reading this series right now. I feel like I picked it up at the perfect time. It has been such a comfort for me recently, and I'm so happy that this was a 5 star. Me rating a fantasy book, a sequel fantasy book, 5 stars. Who would have thought it? I'm obsessed. Going into some spoilers. As always, I'll put a timestamp on the screen if you want to skip to the next non-spoilery part. But the ending of this fucking book, Stephanie Garber ending it, honest to god, I have no words. The way that she ended it, and us being like, Evangelina's dead, and then no, like Jax goes back into time to unwind everything so she doesn't die and he can be there to save her. The most beautiful thing I've ever read in my entire life, but equally the most soul destroying. Like, why would she do that? I honestly think it's the most genius thing to be like chapter 46 and then we basically turn the page and it obviously says the end after Evangelina's just died and Jax is literally holding her in his arms, like basically begging her to come back to life, and like, this can't be happening. We think it's the end, but we carry on. We go again. My jaw was honestly on the floor, and then Apollo takes her memories away. What do you mean she doesn't know who Jax is? I've been thinking about it every single day since I finished it, and I genuinely stand by the fact that this is one of my favorite books of all time. 100% going to be in my top 10 books of 2024. I am obsessed with this series. I'm obsessed with this one book. Speaking of, my biggest regret in life, not getting the Fairy Loot Once Upon a Broken Heart series when I had the opportunity to. I'll stop there. My favorite book out of the 2 currently, dare I say my favorite fantasy book of all time. And with that, once finishing, Mela and I did start A Curse for True Love. We are on page 174, so we are about halfway through, and honestly we wanted to binge read this in an entire day in one sitting. We absolutely could have done, but I knew I wanted to update you guys before just saying that I read the entire 3rd book and not even giving you an update. We have started this and I'm really liking it. I've seen so many mixed things about this. It was one of the only things I knew about going into this series, because I remember last year seeing everyone's reactions to this book and not really obviously understanding, especially after the 2nd book. Like, I cannot imagine waiting at least a year to get this in my hands. I did see really mixed things about this, and going into it I can somewhat understand. I think in terms of the POVs in this one, it is obviously slightly different to the first two, and we are getting a POV from one specific character that we all hate. So for that I do understand why there are so many mixed opinions, but currently where I'm at now, I am really enjoying it. Currently definitely my least favourite out of the three, but obviously I've still got half of the book to go. I'm just so nervous to see how and where it's going to end. I would say I'm just so intrigued, but I think more so than anything I'm terrified, and I'm really excited to read more of this. I think we are going to try and finish it tonight. Oh my god, I don't even want to finish this, like, because if I finish this book it means it's over. I can no longer read it for the first time again, and I already know I want to do a reread and like annotate the entire thing, but like, what do you mean? If I finish it tonight, that's it. I can never read this again for the first time. The uphill battle of finding a new favourite book or a new favourite series and then being so hyper aware that once it's done you can never reread it again for the first time haunts me every single day. Like, I think about this shit every single day, and with this series I'm not ready for that. I have started this, I'm halfway through, going into some spoilers yet again. I'm so sorry, this is probably so annoying, but going into some spoilers for this, obviously a timestamp on the screen again. Where we are basically at, obviously in the second book Apollo took away Evangeline's memories, so she could not remember Jack, she does not remember anything. All she can kind of remember is her past, and obviously she wakes up and Apollo is there and he's saying like, hi, I'm your husband, but she has no memory. So she doesn't know who anyone is, she doesn't know who Jax is, she doesn't know why she's like married to the prince and like why she's in this castle. She knows nothing. He's making everybody guard her, so like she can't really explore and get her memories back, but guys, she does. She gets her memories back slowly every time she's with Jax. I will say there was the scene where basically she got a letter, I can't remember who it was from, but it was from someone that she trusted, and she got a letter basically saying like, meet me in the garden. So she does, and she gets pushed into the well. Somebody tries to kill her and push her into the well, and guess who comes running to save her? Jax. But she doesn't know who this man is, and she's so hyper aware that the person called Jax is like the person who took her memories, which is obviously a lie, but she doesn't really know otherwise because she's just hearing that Jax is this evil person, he's the one that did this to her, so she kind of needs to be scared of him, she needs to stay away from him. Comes and saves her from the well, and when introducing himself he calls himself Archer, the Archer. Definitely you're sick and twisted for that, but also it just means that Evangeline isn't scared of him, and every time she's with him she's slowly getting memories back, and I'm just obsessed with it. One of the funniest things also is the fact that when she kind of woke up she looked at Apollo and she was like, who the fuck is this ugly man, basically. And then the first time she sees Jax, even though she kind of remember him, she's like so attracted to him and like is so full of lust and like desire, and I'm like, this is hilarious, like babe, this is fate, this is who you're meant to be with. I think the scene that I just finished was basically Evangeline was like kissing Apollo. They were on the bed and they were having a little moment. Jax was watching from the balcony. Why would he do that to himself? The jealousy element, but also the way that Jax obviously wants Evangeline to remember who he is, but being so aware that if she does she will be in danger again, but equally she's already in danger because she's with Apollo and he doesn't really know what to do. Oh, and obviously Apollo is doing a hunt to try and find Jax and kill him. So that is what is happening where I'm at currently. Hopefully I can finish this today. Won't be annoyed if I don't, because it means that I can hold on to this series for a little bit longer, but I'm really loving it. I'm terrified to see how this ends. Maybe the next time I talk to you I would have finished it. Guys, we're gonna attempt to finish it.
I don't have my dust jacket.
Should we make predictions? Spoilers. Skip to timestamp on screen.
Yep. Warning.
Do not proceed if you have not read the book.
I mean, I think they're quite in the video now, isn't it?
No, that's fine. Our predictions for the ending, or what we want to happen, I suppose. Eva and Jax don't kiss.
At least, come on, it's been 2
No,
weeks
but
now.
I know we said in another clip that they have to kiss in the second book.
Yeah, but we
Almost.
got that scene like right before it, which was quite nice.
But I have a feeling that they're not gonna kiss in the entire
No.
thing.
That's how she gets away with it somehow. Stephanie. Maybe they'll end up together, but it's gonna be like on the last page, the last one, and we're not gonna get anything else. Like, we're not gonna get their actual lives together.
Is there an epilogue?
Girl, careful! Don't read who's
I'm
the
not.
last
I'm
chapter.
not. Answer to that, I don't know. If there's an epilogue and I don't want to investigate
Yeah, no,
further.
it's alright. Should we go in? Wait. Babe, you're the one that's gonna get
This is what we want to see. I just randomly flicked the page. Read on for an exclusive bonus epilogue. Every different edition has a different ending.
I fucking forgot about that.
That just means we're gonna have to get every single one, every single copy, every single book, just to get every single ending. I hate capitalism, but I love Jax, so.
Stephanie is alright though.
Forget knife to throat, knife to heart.
Little fox. But I actually can't. Yes! This is what I'm talking about.
It has been a couple of days since I last updated you on A Curse for True Love, where I said I was probably going to finish it that night. I didn't. And do you know what? I'm actually quite happy that I didn't, because it means that I'm sitting with this series for so much longer. And oh my god, I've started editing this vlog like fully properly. The joy that it has given me, even looking back at some of my theories from like book 1 and like whether they have played out or they might still play out, I just love it. But since I last updated you, I am now on page 292. I have about 100 pages of the entire series left. I'm terrified. I don't really know how it's going to end, but we had a couple of scenes where I was quite literally giggling and kicking my feet to the point I felt like I genuinely was going to throw up. I love these characters so much. I love their bond and I love their relationship to one another. All around, just absolutely adore them. I love these characters so much. They are definitely becoming some favourite characters, also comfort characters. This is definitely becoming a comfort series. I got about 100 pages left. For real now, the next time I talk to you, I probably would have finished it. I hope you enjoy our reaction to the end. We're here to finish it with you.
Go get the fuck.
They have to. Please. Yeah, actually.
We made it all the way. My heart is beating so fast. Wait.
There's more and then it's the acknowledgements and shit. Now we're on the epilogue. I'm fearing a little bit. I feel like it was all rounded up too easily.
Yeah.
Too quickly. She didn't explain why the cast didn't kill. Unless we read over it and we are fucking dumb.
Because then Aurora says only the person that don't love him is gonna survive.
Is it because Jax loved her back just as much? Like true love that?
Well, I'm assuming it's kind of the title.
But that's too that's too
yeah, but that's
predictable.
That's what we said about the first one, didn't we? We were like, oh, he betrays her, but that's too predictable.
Yeah, but that's fine because it's the first book. I think if you're ending off a series, especially when the second one was so good.
It's like, oh, is that it?
Yeah. I feel like we could have not read that. I wouldn't have felt any different.
No, I mean, but I'm like, oh, they kissed and then it's happily ever after, basically. Okay.
Yeah. Also, Apollo, he died.
He
He died at his own accord because he was so narcissistic. I like that, but I don't like how easy it came.
Yeah. Like as soon as she gets a memory, I'm like, oh. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I know what you mean. It felt like from that, when she got her memories back, it all went so quick. Yeah.
I'm scared for the finale, the last Caraval book. Because I've read Caraval and Legendary. You haven't.
I haven't. I want to. I will.
But yeah, you get spoiled. That's the thing. People are like, you can read them in any order. I'm like, no, you've really got to read Caraval first, I feel. There's such a big spoiler in Once Upon a Broken Heart that if you were planning on reading Caraval after, you're going to be like, oh, well, I kind of know how it ends. Not all of it, because then you do learn more about the fates in Caraval. Because you've really just thrown into it here. So once again, it's better to read Caraval first, I think.
Damn it.
Well,
that was us finishing Once Upon a Broken Heart.
You know what's going to be winning a Roman Empire?
Well,
where the fuck is Luke? Not that I care. Where the fuck is he?
People must have done posts and stuff about that. No, because there came a point, him and Apollo were the same person in my brain. I can't even remember who Luke is. What were your final ratings for the 3? Because this is probably the last time that we're going to see you in this vlog.
Oh my god, we've been... How long have you been filming this video for?
We started it in the new year. We're currently in March.
Don't tell me we started it in January.
We started it in January.
My final rating would probably be like overall a 4.
For the whole series? Okay,
for the whole series, it would probably be a 5 if this didn't exist. Or if Apollo didn't exist, but that's another.
I actually 100% agree with that. I would give it a 4 or so as a series. Alright then.
Alright, well night, because I need to fucking go to bed.
Oh, night. See you tomorrow when I give my final.
Oh my god. You guys better like this video.
And with that, I have now finished the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I cannot believe that I read all 3 of these books. I filmed my entire experience. It definitely took me a lot longer than I first anticipated, but I can't believe it's now over. Am I sad about it? Yeah, I already miss reading, well, not really the last book, but I already miss reading about these characters so much. I'm so happy that I decided to document it. What are my final thoughts on this series? So the first 2 books, I don't think I even told you what I rated the first book. I definitely told you what I rated the second book because I couldn't keep my mouth shut about it. So Once Upon a Broken Heart, I ended up rating 4.5 stars. I absolutely adored this one. I think this is a perfect first book in a series. It is so enticing, really makes you want to read on, and obviously I did, but it makes you fall in love with the characters instantly. I absolutely love this one. 4.5 stars. And then the second one, obviously I rated 5 stars. This is going to be one of my favorite books, one of my favorite fantasy books ever. I fell head over heels for this book. I think about this every single day. I think that this book, I'm not going to lie, is probably one of the biggest reasons that I imagine so many people adore this series and constantly talk about it. This book is completely flawless to me. Not a single thing that happened in this I questioned as to why it was happening, or I didn't like it, or I didn't want it to be there. Flawless. Like, this book is perfect. 6-star book. Absolutely adored it. And then Curse for True Love, which I obviously finished last night. I think I'm going to rate it 3.5 stars. I unfortunately do 100% see why so many people didn't really like this in comparison to the first 2, and I'm not going to lie, I didn't really like how it ended. I think when it came to the ending and it being rounded up and like the entire series coming to a close, I feel like it was so rushed. I don't know why, I was just left kind of unsatisfied, and I just didn't really like where it headed and how it kind of ended. Obviously due to how it ended, I'm somewhat happy. Like, there were some scenes I was giggling, kicking my feet, and I was really happy that we experienced and we had in the last book. But I think considering this is the last book, I feel like the ending was just quite rushed and a little bit unsatisfying personally, and that is a huge shame, but I'm not trying to let it diminish my experience with this series. I'm not gonna lie, this series would have absolutely been a 5-star series had this lived up to the rest. As a whole, I still absolutely adored it. It's definitely one of my favorite fantasy series that I have ever read, and it's gonna be one of the comfort ones for me. Like, this is probably one of the first series that I fully fell in love with, and it really is what has got me in my fantasy era lately. Like, I've read so many fantasy books off the back of this, and I'm just in love with this series. I loved it so much. The hype is so real for this one. Definitely read it if you haven't already, but I'm assuming if you have watched this far, you are either interested in reading it or you already have. And guys, I honestly cannot believe that that means it is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have watched it this far, I know that this video is extremely long in comparison to my normal one. I loved doing this little project so much, and I hope that it can be the start of a really fun series over here. If you have any fantasy book series, or any book series to be honest in general, fantasies, romances, if there is a book series that you want to see me read the entirety of and vlog my entire experience for, spoilers or non-spoilers, please let me know and I will definitely try and do it. If you've read the first book or the entire series, please let me know what you thought about them. Desperately need to talk to other people about this series and like rant about it and like yearn over it and just kick and giggle and everything all over it. So if you have read it, please let me know in the comments. Definitely try and keep it as spoiler free as possible for those that haven't. I genuinely need to talk to more people about it, so definitely let me know what you thought. Or if you watch until the very end of this video and you don't really know what to comment, comment either the Archer emoji or the apple emoji or the fox emoji. There are so many emojis that could be used for this entire series, so drop any of them down below if you watched until the end. And yeah, as always, if you did enjoy this video and you are not yet subscribed, it would mean the absolute world if you did consider doing so. We have so much fun over here and I would absolutely love to have you here. And yeah guys, thank you so much again for watching and for spending some time with me, and I will see you again very, very soon with another video. Something's happening!
Oh, fuck!
I need to piss.
380, there's a word. I thought it was a fucking proofread.
How the fuck did you read this quickly?
Guys, shh, it is. What's that mean? What is it? Shush your ears! Disappointment twisted inside her, yeah, me too, bitch. I need to get water also. I'm gonna pass out. Oh my god. She can't think straight anymore. All it takes is a bit of Jack. Jack? Who's Jack? Who the fuck is Jack?
Frogly.
Who the fuck is that? Jackson from Jelly. Actually, that'd be Luke. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen something.
What?
And I'm gonna tell you.
You've seen a spoiler?
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, guys. How am I giggling and blushing over a man? Please. Oh, I've never seen you like that.
Because
Stephanie, we're gonna need to have a talk at the end of this. Prepare the check, the therapy bill. No, but I hope you have a nice fountain pen. The actual
Stephanie?
You tell her, babe. What's wrong with that? Just and then hi guys.
Stephanie, she had us by the fucking throat.
We were humbled so quick. All men do is disappoint. I'm sweating from the eyes and the armpit. That should be the POV. Your apple.
POV, your Jax is apple.
So she's actually a massive bitch. Hi.
We got the candles.
He's a murderer. But he's kind of cute. Get yourself a man, period. Get yourself a man. Get yourself a Jax. Who would burn the world down for you? But fuck, you're so fucking dead. No, me to Stephanie. You're so deficient. That's deficient never stops. That's why I said it.
Then stop loving me. I can't. That's the problem, Elena. We don't work.
So
Yeah, Stephanie, if you're watching this. Stephanie, if you're watching this, please can we have a Lala
you
spin-off?
said I've read the acknowledgement. You said you love hearing about all the videos and stuff.
Well,
and, like,
we're
when
here.
You see them. Just like cut the cameras.
Deadass.